Hey, so I'm gonna make a real quick video here. I've talked about this before in past videos, but I think it's kind of fair to maybe compile it in one video. So detransition. There's, of course, we're gonna get into the argument of, is there such a thing as detransition? Should we call it detransition? Blah, 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 blah. But for just using the common language most people understand, I'm gonna say detransition. For me, I'm going to answer what is detransition for me and what does it mean in my eyes, and honestly how I think it should look in society's eyes. So detransition for me is not about trying to play a role in any way. It's not about trying to pass as female. It's not about trying to pass as anything. It has nothing to do with it. It is about radical acceptance of reality, of my body, of my sex, of my world. It really is, detransition for me was a letting go of everything I was trying to control. And if I had to, I've often used this description. It's true. This is how detransition felt to me. It felt like putting down a very heavy bag I had been carrying around for years. In that heavy bag was hatred of myself, just as a person, hatred of my body because it wasn't the way I wanted it to look, hatred of myself as a lesbian, hatred of myself as a woman, hatred of my female anatomy and parts and my just everything. And you know, you name it, I did not like it. It was also, in that bag was also the desire to make other people, to make a whole bunch of people accept me that were never going to accept me. And those people not accepting me, in my mind, before detransition and before my radical acceptance, that in my mind was, if not everybody's accepting me, or if not, you know, people I come in contact with aren't accepting me, then there's something wrong with me. And that is very hard to break. But I've come to the realization it's not about me at all. It really is not. In society, our society works a certain way. We can try to make it better, but at the end of the day, you do have to accept the world you live in. It doesn't mean you can't work to make it better, but you can only fight so hard because you will burn yourself out. And I had to let go of people's expectations and people's dirty looks and, you know, and many of my family members' unacceptance of me. And that was all in the bag. It was a very heavy bag I was carrying around. And I put it down. And I came to realize that I had to accept my body as it was, and I had to appreciate my body. And part of that was to put first and foremost the health of myself. Also in this, I'm saying body, right? And I really, it's just such part of our language, but I really do believe there isn't this, it's not your mind and your body. They're not separate. They're all one. You are one unit. And so I had to put the health of myself first and foremost. And I had to realize that basically when my period started again, after I stopped testosterone, I knew it was going to be rough. My period had been a huge source of discomfort and what people would categorize as gender dysphoria. The way I framed it was to look at it as just a normal biological process that meant my body was healthy and becoming healthy. And when I put it in that perspective, it helped me to eventually desensitize myself to it and not be so upset by it. And honestly, it's sad to say, it took till I was 40 years old, but it's just kind of a non-issue. It's whatever, it does what it does. And so that's for me what detransition is. Detransition is radical acceptance of the self. And it's why I cannot and will not get behind this idea that accepting yourself means to harm yourself. This double-speak nonsense that trans ideology and trans-identified people, both GC and trans rights advocates, push, that they found their authentic self. They became their true self. It's doublespeak. It's nonsense. Your true self is exactly who you are, and they are basically just not accepting reality. They are not accepting themselves. And so I hope this has been helpful, and to understand what detransition means to me, what I think it should mean to society, because I think all of us should strive for radical acceptance of both ourselves and reality and the way things are. It really is freedom to let go of the things you cannot control and appreciate the things that you have.